All right. Good evening and welcome to the rescheduled regular city council meeting Thursday, March 26, 2020. Madam Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mayor Beagle,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Resnick,
Here.
Councilmember Behrman,
Here.
Councilmember Gotchall,
Here.
Councilmember Grenlin Fox,
Here.
Councilmember Sharp,
Here.
Councilmember Smiley,
Here.
quorum present.
Thank you. Do we have any changes or additions to the agenda tonight, City Manager?
Mayor, I have no changes or additions to the agenda.
Anybody from council?
No.
All right, very good. No approval of the minutes because those will be approved at the April 14th, 2020 meeting. We have one item of new business. It's a resolution to declare a local state of emergency. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Very good, thank you. What this is on, let me see, March 19th, I signed a declaration of a local state of emergency. And what that entitles us to do, among other things, is it's going to allow our city manager, Steve Brown, to assume his responsibilities as the emergency manager coordinator for all purposes under that ordinance, including coordination with any and all federal, state, county, and local government entities. And this time I'll turn it over to city manager to further compound on that.
Thank you, Your Honor. So are you guys hearing me well?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So we had the resolution declaring a local emergency that was drafted by our city attorney. That was the result of the COVID-19 crisis that started in the past several weeks. It dates back to the end of December in other areas of the globe. We have a situation that required some action on my part. There was actions taken to close City Hall because of the health concerns that just took effect, not this past Monday, but the Monday before. And there's a variety of other actions that we see could be necessary in the future. So this proposed resolution that was provided by the city attorney at her suggestion to pass is going to allow to acknowledge the other declarations of emergency that were done by the federal, state, and county levels. It's going to give council approval to the mayoral local emergency declaration that was done on March 19th. And then it's got other points under it's further declared that talks about different things related to essentially one of the things that's before us right now, which is this conducting a virtual meeting. If you look at the third page of the resolution, it states under number 4, public meetings may be conducted virtually in accordance with the governor's executive order 2020-15. So that's one of the things that's going to be accomplished. It speaks to, in item number 3, things that would have to happen if we were to do a meeting subject to the normal requirements of the Open Meeting Act. In other words, if we were to have a physically everybody in one location type of meeting and we had members of the public available or allowed to be present in that meeting as well, there would be requirements that would be done to require the social distancing and other things. So it covers a lot of things. It provides some authorization for me to take some special measures that would normally be outside of the bounds. And one of the ones that would give kind of after the fact allowance for is the motion to the move to close City Hall, as well as send employees home that were not essential, as we've been experiencing for the past week as well. So that's the background. If you have any questions on it, I'd be happy to talk about it. Otherwise, it's just taking basically a perfunctory thing to move forward with that.
Deputy Mayor Resnick?
Yeah, one question. Isn't this also a necessary step for us to be eligible for certain federal aids and federal programs?
Actually, technically, no, it's not. The feedback that we had, which was developed through lots of meetings, it's not something that was common knowledge. There was a lot of feedback that had to be sorted through, but the long story short was the federal declaration, the state declaration, and perhaps the county declaration also covered that. The local declaration was not necessary for us to receive funding from the federal government in the long run. But the city attorney recommended that we do the local declaration for the reasons that I talked about earlier.
All right, thank you.
You are welcome.
Councilmember Gatchel.
Thank you. City Manager, I know we had spoken earlier today about the need for in-person meetings when people, I know in the resolution there was something about having them sign in and provide identifying information. Were you able to do any more research about whether that was needed or what the rules would be surrounding that? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm trying to toggle to the right spot.
Okay.
Yeah, so there were two reasons that I found out about why that was in there. Basically, the initial thought was when we were going to proceed with this meeting on the 24th being in person, it was to cover that eventuality and to spell out the social distancing and the other requirements that would be in play. The fact that we were going to, try to provide an opportunity for people to provide comments electronically so they could avoid appearing at the meeting physically and potentially having the exposure risk. So I think it was done originally to allow for that particular eventuality, which we ended up moving away from and going to this virtual meeting instead 2 days later after we canceled the meeting on the 24th. And the other thing, I think we just decided to leave it in on the off chance that we get to a transition phase where maybe the concern is less, but we still want to have those kind of restrictions and guidelines. So I think that's the reason why it's still in there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All right, excuse me. We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution to declare a local state of emergency. Madam Clerk, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Sure. Mayor Beagle,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Resnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Behrman,
Yes.
Councilmember Gatchel,
Yes.
Councilmember Grunland Fox,
Yes.
Councilmember Sharp,
Yes.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
7 yes.
Thank you. All right, and that moves us to the first, only call to the public tonight. The rules to the call to the public are as follows. The public shall address the council during the call to the public, which shall be included on the agenda immediately after new business. The first call to the public shall be limited to agenda items only. This one will be any item you want to talk about. A person shall not address the council in excess of 5 minutes unless the time is extended by a majority vote of the council present. Persons wishing to address the council shall identify themselves and their place of residence and shall state their reasoning for addressing the council, and all comments to the public shall be made directly to the council. Do we have anybody out there tonight?
Would you want to make a mention about the raise hand feature as well, just so people might know?
I can cover that. So for those of us that are attending the meeting as an attendee, there's a function in the Zoom meeting that should be towards the center of the screen that has an icon with a hand that has an indication underneath that says raise hand. If you click on that function, you'll be reflected in the list of attendees as somebody who's requested to speak. And then we will recognize those people with their hands raised on an orderly fashion from there. And me as the host will be able to handle that. So right now we have one person with their hand raised. Hopefully the rest that are in attendance have that option on their screen and understand that option. If there is any issue with that, we'll have to apologize and work on doing some additional education on that, but it should be right towards the center of the screen. And I'm going to recognize the person that does have their hand up, let them have a conversation with us, and then we'll see if anybody else raises their hand.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Hi, it's Cheryl, and I'm 3301 Bennington, Cheryl Lucas, and I'm just saying hi and testing the system for you guys.
Thank you.
Cheryl.
So Cheryl, can you do me a favor and explain a little bit more tightly about where that's located on the screen and give a better physical description of it, so in case somebody's missing it?
So it's basically if you just take your cursor and you scroll down to the bottom of the screen, there's a black bar at the bottom that has the mute button. It has an option in the lower right-hand corner to leave the meeting, and right in the center, there's a hand, and that raises it when I click it and lowers it when I click it again. I think only Steve can see that though, if I'm
Correct.
to remember.
So I see Cheryl's got her hand up still in spite of the fact that she's been recognized, so she can lower her hand.
Yep.
And we still have her audio on, so I'm going to go ahead and mute her and then leave it open for a few seconds to see if anybody from the audience and the attendees want to raise their hand. Did I cut somebody off there?
I could see her hand was up.
Oh, you could, good.
Yeah, we
Good,
see
good.
it too.
Okay, good.
If you have that open.
Right.
You can collapse that out of the way.
And maybe, in case someone doesn't understand it, is there a way that you can open the mic for Anthony, Caleb, Mike, or Steve, just to see if any of them want to talk?
I can do that at a couple seconds at a time and see if that's the case here. We've started with the first person in the list under Cheryl, which is Anthony. If they stay silent, I'm going to move on.
He's still muted.
Then he wasn't muted to begin with, then. That's what the issue was. Let's see. There we go.
Hi, this is Anthony. I have nothing to comment.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for hosting me.
I'm going to disable his talking, see if we have anybody else. Caleb.
Can you hear me?
Talk.
Yeah.
Caleb, did you understand the hand raising routine?
Yeah, I've used Zoom before. It's a great platform.
No comments?
Just thank you, everybody. I know everyone's burning the candle at both ends. Thank you all very, very, very much. It's very reassuring to everybody that's dealing with this, the way that you folks are gathering together and helping. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. I've unmuted Michael Smith as far as I can tell. If he doesn't go ahead and do anything with there, we'll move forward.
I'm just listening.
All right. Thanks for listening.
All right.
Last person.
All right. With that, I'm going to
We got
close.
one more person, Mayor. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm also just listening. I appreciate the opportunity. I could never make the live meeting, so this actually helps me.
Yeah, thanks for attending.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, so I'm going to disable that mic, and then we're set with public comment, I believe.
Yep. City manager's comments.
I have none this evening, Your Honor. I'm all set. Thank you. Appreciate the cooperation with the resolution and the support that I've received from council. That's all I have to say.
All right. Council comments. Councilmember Smiley.
Thank you, Mayor Beagle. Just a simple, quick message to everyone to thank them for all that they're doing here in the city to make us all as safe as possible. And as always, remember that this too shall pass. God bless. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Sharp.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to thank City Manager Brown for organizing this. Real good use of our technologies. Thank goodness we have this and are supporting Governor's directives. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Grenlin Fox.
Thank you, Mayor. I too would like to thank City Manager for all that he's done to get this working and everything that he's done for the past 2 weeks, just to keep the city going and keep everybody safe. Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilmember Gutschall.
Thank you, Mayor. I also wanted to thank the city manager and his staff for researching this and making it a reality. I know it's something that I had been hoping for rather than an in-person meeting, especially those of us who are home with people that are more at risk than others potentially. Also wanted to thank all of our city staff for their adaptability during this crisis and their hard work. Especially our first responders. I'm hoping everybody can stay home as much as possible and stay safe. I also just wanted to mention, I read quickly an article about the Secretary of State not being able to extend expiring driver's licenses. So I'm just hoping that the police department will consider not issuing tickets for folks that might get pulled over that have driver's license that have expired between basically today or this last Monday, I guess, through whenever the Secretary of State can get back to work. Thank you. Otherwise, everybody stay safe.
Thank you. Councilmember Behrman.
Well, again, thank you for to City Manager Brown for everything he's done. I'm enjoying the updates that our police chief is doing for us every morning, or at least letting us know what's going on. I think the feedback on that, at least to see what I see on Facebook, is people are appreciating that. I saw a lot of negative comments regarding our trash, or the what was it, the
Yard
recycling,
waste and bulk pickup.
the lawn pickup not being done. I saw a lot of people upset about that, but I mean, it kind of is what it is. I mean, given what's going on. The only thing else I'd say is there's a lot of people home, and there's a lot of people out on the trail and walking around, riding their bikes. I witnessed a car accident today on Beck Road. Someone was going across at the Hawk lights. The car stopped in front for someone who was running, and the car behind them just went right into the back of them. So if you're out there, pay attention, because there's way more people out there riding their bikes and walking than what we're used to with the circumstances. And everybody stay safe.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Resnick.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple comments here. One, thank you, City Manager Brown. As I know this is a difficult thing as a chief executive to have to navigate us through. So strength to you. Our first responders, you know, Chief Moore and Chief Roberts, you know, our hats are off to you guys. Our boys and, you know, they still have to be, boys and ladies still have to be on the road, and they still have to respond. And you know, we want to definitely thank you for being out there during this time. Which, you know, last weekend I was involved in a couple of grassroots efforts. One started by our former mayor, Hinckley, and his wife, Linda, to collect masks and distribute them. And one of our local businesses collected a full bin of them, hundreds of them on the weekend. And I was able to actually distribute those to Oakland County. And then I had, in my business, we distributed 1,850 this week to Ascension Providence. I delivered 1,000 masks to them, 750 to UVM Health Center, and 50 here and there to different surgery centers. So again, if you're a tradesperson, you've got these in your garage, please find a way to get them to our first responders or our hospitals. There's a big discussion about doing that. The other thing I'd like to appeal to residents is look in on your elderly neighbors. We're seeing a lot more people out, but if you know someone that's been shut in or is elderly, maybe just check in on them somehow with a phone call and see how they're doing. Our safety paths, they're very crowded. Unbelievable. It's 100-fold increase in people in our safety paths and trails. A lot of walkers, bicyclists, you know, keep care, as Councilmember Bierman mentioned. And remember this when it comes up for millage renewal as well. And one plea I want to make to all residents is please continue to patronize our local businesses. The fabric of our community is made up of these small mom and pop businesses, everything from dry cleaners to car washes to restaurants. And, you know, they're going through a real tough time right now. And until they can get access to some of the aid money, if they've got takeout, stop in there and get takeout. You don't even have to go in. You just call in, pay online. You don't have to even touch a pen, and they'll bring it out to your car. So please patronize our small business community through this crisis. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. I just want to echo Deputy Mayor's comments about the small businesses too. Let's support them in every way we can. Thanks to Steve Brown, not only for his hard work the past 2 weeks, but especially today for getting this non-techie into this tech system here. I still don't know what I'm doing, but it looked like it worked, so I guess we'll be fine. And don't forget to check up on neighbors. And also, now's a good time to get all your neighbors to do their census forms. We're home. You know, that census form, for everybody that fills it out, we get a certain amount of money for 10 years. So if we can get them to fill that out, it'll help the city out. And just want to say that, you know, we know that the past 2 weeks have been pretty disconcerting to everybody, but I'm urging the Wixom residents to remain calm and follow the advice of our health experts. We've got a plan in place to ensure that we can continue to deliver the critical and essential city services, and that we will get through this situation together and come out stronger as a community. I want to thank our first responders, and with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I got one thing, if I can.
Certainly.
I'm going to have no comment remorse here. So I was wondering if we were going to get to our record short meeting, and it looks like we missed it. So I'm going to say something now if I can have a couple seconds.
Okay.
The thing that I wanted to say was, and I didn't take advantage of the opportunity earlier, is just our staff has been fantastic throughout. I want to say thank you, our Public Safety Director, Ron Moore, who's been critical, our Fire Chief, Jeff Roberts, who's been critical, and all of the City Hall staff that's been coming in gamely and trying to get as much work as they can at work as possible done. Everybody has really just taken a great all hands on deck kind of approach to this. We've got a lot of remote working resources out there with other employees that are not at City Hall that are also spending time day in and day out to get work done. Thank you to everybody on staff for what they've done and the pride they take in serving the Wixom community. It really is something that I'm very, very proud of and awed by. I appreciate it from all of our staff. I think they're all fantastic and doing their best in a very difficult situation. So thank you to all of them for everything they do. I can't possibly thank them enough. They're doing a wonderful job in manning the work that needs to be done and getting things done for our residents and allowing as much to continue through this situation as possible. And I really do thank them and laud them for it. So that's just the one thing that I wanted to say. There's a bunch of other people that I should thank as well, but I could be here all night if I do that. But on behalf of myself, just thank you so much to our entire staff for everything they're doing and have done to this point and will continue doing because they care about the work they do. And I appreciate it. And I know the residents appreciate it as well.
And we appreciate it as well. Councilmember Smiley.
Real quick, I know we're all wondering it, but is Tom's cat okay?
There's always an animal that interferes.
I apologize for that. It was right during my comments.
Of course.
I think the dog won.
Time for dinner.
Fantastic.
For the record, that's why I'm in the basement, so you don't hear my children.
We heard you were a banister anyways.
It added some levity. That was good.
All right. So now can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
Madam Clerk, roll call, I guess, again.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Deputy Mayor Resnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Behrman,
Yes.
Councilmember Gottschall,
Yes.
Councilmember Grunland Fox,
Yes.
Councilmember Sharp,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Mayor Beagle,
Yes.
7 yes.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your cooperation tonight. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
To our attendees too. Good to have
Bye, y'all.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks.
Right.